Christmas, the most jolliest time of year. The unwrapping your presents with pipe bombs in them is just so jolly. But I'm always reminded this time of year about the Item Asylum, specifically their older Christmas updates. Almost every single year since 2024, there's been a winter/Christmas update in Item Asylum, going all the way back to 2020. In this video, we are going back in time to see how jolly these Christmas updates really were, and see if they're good or not. Starting off, we have the 2020 Christmas update. Not very much is known about this update, since Item Asylum barely had any players during this time. It was released approximately 3 months after Item Asylum was even released. But the update has been logged in the changelog section of the IA wiki, and I have to say, that's to be the most underwhelming update on this list. Now obviously, Item Asylum was super small back then, so it's somewhat understandable, but in terms of the update itself, it's pretty mid. In this update, only 6 items were added into the game, and the health UI was remade. The 6 items that were added are probably some you guys recognize, such as the pool noodle and comedic banana peel, which are still in public servers to this day. The other 4 are vaulted nowadays, and are Baby, Bootleg Santa, Christmas Crocky, and the candy cane. And these were used in other Christmas updates other than this one, except Baby. Overall, it's the most mid-Christmas update ever released, but it is pretty much unknown to most. Plus, this was before even version 0.1 came out, and that was at a time where Item Asylum had no recognition by any people, so there was most likely like 10 people in Item Asylum back then. Now, on to the second Christmas update, the 2021 Jolly Update. This has to be the best Christmas themed update Item Asylum has ever released. First of all, there was a new game mode, new Christmas themed maps, a secret emote, new boss, a ton of new good items, a new shop UI, etc. This update just never stopped giving. The new items added were unique, but some were used for the prior Christmas update in 2020, such as the Christmas Crocky, Candy Cane, and Bootleg Santa. But these new items that were added are iconic now, like the Keyblade, Switchblade, Tactical Fighting Technique, Doorbell, Untextured Unrigged Blender Brick, Cracklander, which I have to say is definitely the best item added, Go Mining, Out of Discipline, Parasol, and even dummy summons for private servers. Now, onto the new boss, which was the best part of the update for most. The boss was called Boss_Santa, which was pretty much an older version of Uncertified, but better. First, you had waves of enemies spawning in, ranging in health and damage that were Christmas themed. And once you defeated all of those waves of enemies, you would go on to the final wave, against the evil Santa robot. This was peak at the time, as it wasn't like any other bosses like it back then. And even nowadays, Uncertified still pales in comparison to what Boss Santa was. Now, onto something that was viewed pretty negatively at the time. It still is. The new Xmas game mode. I'm gonna be honest, this one was mediocre. You basically go around a map that is Christmas themed called Xmas_Backyard and collect presents that give you either a ranged item, melee item, miscellaneous item, or a Christmas themed item from a certain present. And the reason the Xmas game mode did not return for such a long time until 2024 is because that it was viewed pretty negatively from the community at the time, which is understandable. But the main highlight for me personally was the secret emote called Caramel Dancin'. It is most likely the rarest emote in the game by now, having been unobtainable for almost 3 years now. Caramel Dancin' was obtained by going on the map islands and looking around for a rainbow window on buildings, which when clicked will give you the Caramel Dancin' emote. In fact, I am probably the sole reason that many people even know about this emote and that people obtained it, as I have a video explaining how to get it, which blew up at the time it came out. There were also major changes to the game in this update that helped shape Item Asylum into what it is today, such as the new shop UI, which I have to say is definitely a good change over the old one they used to have. The change in quality is just insane. As well as now points will be deducted when you purchase something. This was pretty major as well at the time because people actually had to grind more to get the emotes they want. And that wasn't even everything that happened during this update. There are also other changes, such as Apologist getting removed, Beef was added to the game, 2 new lobbies such as Coco and Minesweeper, which is such a peak lobby, a new setting called Hitbox Debug. Overall, this has to be in the top 3 best IA updates, and that's not even an opinion, that's a fact. Many Item Asylum veterans would agree that the 2021 Christmas update is the best Christmas update Item Asylum has ever released. Personally, this is my favorite update as this is when I enjoyed Item Asylum the most, and I have a lot of good memories playing Item Asylum during this update. Also, fun fact, I joined a random Item Asylum server during this update and found Portaboy in it, which was pretty rare, even at the time when the IA community was smaller, you would rarely ever see devs join a game. And just to show how peak this update was, we have not gotten a seasonal exclusive boss since this update. Now is the part when we start to go downhill, and on to the 2022 Dead Snow update. Wait, hold up. Do you see these cool people right here? Well, you could be like them in a video by joining my Discord server, where I do silly events. Tori! What did you do to the server? And leak parts of my upcoming videos early. Plus, the 100th member to join my Discord server will get a very special role. Invite link on screen and in the description, 13 plus only. Anyways, where were we? Oh yeah, right. Not much Christmas themed stuff was added in the 2022 Dead Snow update. The main thing that was added for it to even count as a winter/Christmas update is that it made all the maps into their winter form. This update was a real letdown to all the players who were expecting an experience similar to the 2021 Jolly update, but that's not to say nothing at all happened in this update. Even though the Christmas and winter aspects were lackluster at best, a lot of big changes happened during this update, the most noticeable one being the health UI, which now looks 10 times better as the previous one, and I'm genuinely curious why Item Asylum did not do this sooner, as this health UI right here that looks like complete garbage was in place from version 0.01 to version 1.0, which is insane to think about. Another huge thing that happened during this update was the multiple revamped game modes, such as Zombie Survival, MU, and TDM all getting updated, with the most notable game mode change happening would be the Zombie Survival revamp, which would change the face of Zombie Survival to this day. Before this update, zombies would spawn with 1 or 2 random items to fend off survivors. Now, they have mutations, and only get the Maul or a special mutation ability from a mutation zombie that now has a chance of spawning when you die as a zombie. The new Zombie Survival maps were very good in my opinion, such as Tundra and Survival the Killer being added to the ZS game mode. Many new good items were also added in this update, such as Axe, Big Rock, Lucille, Poser's Katana, Your Eternal Reward, Crossbow, Pinger, Small Pebble, Heart to Heart, Maxwell the Carryable Cat, Silly Guitar, Sneakers, Vampirism, and also to mention the new VIP content items, Bridge, Dallas Summon, and the Drip Dummy Summon, as well as 5 new Fortnite card items were added. So yeah, there was a lot of items added in this update. There were also many item changes in this update, so I'm just gonna list a few of them here, like Axe being renamed to Bukurai X because there was another item named Axe, and Starbucks Coffee being rebranded and renamed to Cassie Bucks Coffee. A couple of new lobbies and maps were added as well in this update, such as Armory 1, Maxwell, Room 000, Parable, Gren's Mall, Longplate, and Nil. And all of that wasn't even the entirety of this update. There were also some badges and emotes added. The 7 badges added in this update were somewhat unique, I guess, and the emotes were pretty good animation-wise and music-wise, such as God of Romance and Shinji being my favorites being added in this update. Overall, the 2022 Dead Snow update was a pretty big downgrade from the last update to it. This was a pretty huge update and was most likely the biggest update at that time, but it was nothing like the 2021 Jolly update before it, which is why I think this update was average, and the people who were expecting something big like me were just let down because of the lackluster Christmas/winter additions in this update compared to the last one. Now, we move on to the 2023 festive Wait, hold up. 2023? Let me check. Hey! There wasn't even a Christmas update! Yeah, so remember from the beginning where I said, almost every single year since 2024, there's been a winter/Christmas update in Item Asylum. That was because of this update. I genuinely was confused when Item Asylum released this update, because this didn't even look like a winter nor a Christmas update at all. This update ruined the tradition of Item Asylum Christmas updates, and the reason I was a bit confused is because 1, they literally leaked something for Boss Santa a couple months prior to the update. 2, the update was released in February, which is super late even for a winter update, when those types of updates usually release around December to January most of the time. Which probably means A, they were behind schedule, or B, they had already planned a Christmas update but just scrapped it last minute. As well, in the Item Asylum changelog section of the wiki, they usually label Christmas updates with a little snowflake or Christmas tree emoji, but for version 1.5, which was this update, they didn't. So that is why I won't be discussing this update in full. But just know that besides the Christmas and winter aspects being practically missing, except for the winter themes for the maps, overall, it wasn't the worst update ever. And finally, we move on to the most recent Christmas update, the 2024 Christmas Update. This is finally where the Item Asylum developers realize how crappy their winter/Christmas updates were getting. If you can even call the last one a Christmas/winter update. The improvements over the last update is just massive, but it's not good. So let's go over this update. To start, the Xmas game mode being added back was really unexpected. They gave it one of the weakest reworks ever by just removing the Rainbow Present variant, adding a bunch of new maps to it, which is definitely an improvement over the 2021 Jolly Update version where you had only one map to play on, but it's not the best. This is barely a rework and is basically just a band-aid fix to only a few problems of the Xmas game mode, although I do think this game mode has some potential to be better in the future. Currently, I'm kind of just disappointed with the game mode. I mean, 2021 version was horrible but had charm to it. This version, yeah, it's a bit better, but like, it's still kind of crappy in my opinion, even with the rework. And still, to this day, people are hating on this game mode. Like, I've never seen people hate so much on a game mode like the Xmas game mode. But enough yapping about the Xmas game mode. There wasn't that much big new content that was added in this update besides the Xmas game mode being re-added, other than 4 new items such as AK-47, Friend in Me, Last Breath, and Lore Accurate Roulette Shotgun, with Moonwalker being removed because the developers think it's funny to re-add and remove an item so many times it becomes a joke. I don't know why they can't just make this item vaulted, but that's besides the point. There are also many new maps in this update, like Ice Plate, Iceberg, Snow Globe, Snow Swept, and Oni Mansion V2. And that was it for new content. The rest was pretty much just items/game mode changes that are pretty minuscule and stuff. There really isn't that much to talk about. So what do I think about this update? I think this update is made it underwhelming, but is a step in the right direction compared to the last quote-unquote Christmas update. But even compared to the 2022 Dead Snow update, it's a very minuscule and boring update, to be honest. Even you guys said that the update was mid in a YouTube community post poll that I did a while ago. So it really goes to show that not that many people really like this update, but also even Portaboy confirmed almost a year ago that Boss_Santa was gonna come back, and I'm just curious where that is. I mean, you guys had more than half a year since then to work on it, but you know, maybe they'll improve on all this other stuff and Boss_Santa revamp in the 2025 Christmas update. So, in conclusion, what happened to Item Asylum Christmas updates? Well, as you can tell, over the years, the updates have gradually just gotten worse. I mean, if you look at the 2021 Christmas update, that was probably where these Christmas updates peaked. But it has just been kind of just gradually just going down in quality and creativity. I mean, the 2021 update, there's so much creativity and just, you know, uniqueness about that update that I don't think has been matched ever since. I mean, the most recent update was just pretty lacking. It wasn't really unique. It was just kind of bland. So that is what happened to Item Asylum Christmas updates. A gradual decline of quality and uniqueness has led them to a state of disrepair. Well, there you have it. You made it to the end of the video, which clearly shows me and YouTube that you like this type of content. So I would appreciate if you left me a sub, as it helps support the channel. Also, just for those who are wondering, the red outfit I made is just the Jolly outfit I made for the Christmas season, so it's not permanent. In fact, I'll be wearing it every Christmas season from now on, so expect to see it more often. But of course, the classic green avatar is the one I'll use mainly. Anyways, let me know what you think about these types of updates. Which one was the worst? Which one was the best? I'm Robloxy Gamer. Peace out.